Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Candace. If you are new here, I am a brand new reseller. I started my eBay business about 3 weeks ago, and this morning I'm at the Goodwill Bins. Many of you have suggested that this is where the real deal is at. And so I am nervous. I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect. I'm going to take you with me. I hope I can find a great deal today. Let's go. Okay, first thing you will notice is that it is not called Goodwill Bins, it's called the Outlet, but it is called the Goodwill Bins in layman's terminology for a very clear reason, and that is because everything in here is in giant bins, and you just got to dig. I got here about 15 minutes after opening, which I'm happy I got there early because it did get pretty busy. I came in, first thing I saw was the first unveiling of the shoes bins, and everyone was around there and they were ready to go and they were digging pretty quick. And so I kind of peeled off to the side and started looking through some clothes leisurely, as you can see here. But then I quickly realized that everyone kind of congregated over here to the what I call like new bins, the fresh bins that are being pulled out. And after watching this happen several times, even though it was pretty packed and busy at each of those, I did start to kind of get in there, and so I started to wait for like the fresh bins, and that's when I really started to find the better clothes throughout the day. So I continued that process and filled up my cart, overfilled my cart actually. I did go over to the hard goods section towards the end there, and actually managed to find a couple of things, although everything kind of seemed pretty broken. And I weighed my cart on the way out and paid my tab. I'm happy with the haul that I ended up walking away with. I did look around the parking lot to see that it was pretty packed by the time I left, and some new trucks were coming in. So I guess if you didn't get here right at the beginning, it still was going to be a good day. Okay. 3 hours, the fastest 3 hours I've ever spent picking. That was a whirlwind. It happened so fast, but man, if you are quick, you can get some really good deals. I am confident that I have a handful of things in the back of my car that will turn a nice little profit with very good profit margins. So let me get organized, and show you what I got. Before we get back and I tell you all about the haul that I got, I have to tell you about the drama. Oh my gosh. There was craziness in there. It was good though. I feel like you have to be on top of your game. I didn't realize certain things, like you have to make sure that when they pull out new bins, like you don't touch the new bins until every single new bin is out, and then it's like ready, set, go, and then everyone's just like dig. It's like, it's crazy. When the first set of bins came out, like, you know, when I first rolled in, I didn't know that, and I kind of started touching stuff. The guy next to me didn't say anything, but he did kind of give me the side eye, but I quickly learned, and then I didn't do the unspoken offense again. So there was that. And then they came over. I had, at some point throughout, I had grabbed a second cart because my cart had gotten full. And I was like rolling around the entire place with like 2 carts, one in front of me, one to the side. People, they fill up their carts and they put it up against the wall, but everyone has like tons and tons of carts. And so much so, they run out of carts. Like, there's no more carts. Like, people are like sharking out carts. Anyways, they come over the intercom and they were like, reminder, like there's only 1 cart per shopper, and we're going to come around and collect your carts. I knew that he was talking about me because I felt like I was the only one walking around with 2 carts. So I quickly unloaded, I combined into 1 cart. But I thought to myself, that's kind of crazy and unfair. I'm like, look at all these carts up against the wall. And even after his announcement, by the end, there still were all these people who had, there was 2 shoppers and they had like 6 carts up against the wall. But anyways, I don't want any, issues, so I just stick to my 1 cart. I don't need any more stuff than 1 cart's worth anyways. Okay, last but not least, I had to tell you about the wheeling and dealing that happens at these Goodwill bins. So I noticed there was like this group of guys, young, trendy, hip. They had like cool vintage stuff on, all tatted up. And they were looking through this stuff, but they were also like going up to people and seeing if people had like these vintage t-shirts that they were looking for, and they were offering people like on the spot to buy from them in Goodwill bins. And I was like, oh wow, they're like wheeling and dealing right here, because someone had like already picked it up and put it in their cart. And so they were paying people for shirts right on the spot. And then there was like this other lady who grabbed a Carhartt jacket before the other lady, and she right then and there was like, oh bummer, I wanted that Carhartt. And she's like, you can get 80 for this. She's like, I'll give you 20. And people were slinging cash left and right. And then there was this other lady who came in, and she didn't even have stuff from Goodwill's bins. She had her own bags. And she came in around the corner and she found the t-shirt guys, and she had a whole bag full of vintage t-shirts. She must have known that they were looking for that and they come here often. I don't know. But then she like busts out these shirts, and then she sees me and she's like, hey, like, these are, I'm here to sell shirts. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, come take a look and see what you like. And feel free to shop for anything. And I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm here. And I was just kind of observing, and they were wheeling and dealing. He was buying shirts from her, and then they kind of went back and forth on it. And it was crazy. I was like, oh, you gotta be ready to wheel and deal. Or avoid it at all costs. I don't know is this normal at the Goodwill's bins? Like, I don't even know, but I saw a lot of wheeling and dealing today. And it was just like, I felt like I was in Vegas. Like, this was just crazy. What a thrill. Okay, let me get back and show you all the stuff that I got. Okay, we are back. I took some time to kind of peer through everything some more. I feel like when I was there and I was double checking the items that I wanted to take and the items I didn't want to take, there was some I was kind of on the fence about, and because it was such a great deal, I just kind of took it. And now that I've gotten a little bit of practice, there are some items I probably wouldn't have taken, and I'll share with you which ones those are. But let me show you what my entire load looks like. Okay, here it is. So much stuff piled high. My cart was overfull, and I'm very happy and glad about all of the items that I grabbed today. So that is the entire haul in its entirety. You will notice that there was a common theme there. Yes, jackets and jackets and jackets. I feel like because it was my first time going and I had to work quickly, everyone around me was like a seasoned pro and a veteran. So I knew, I'm like, okay, instead of trying to like check every single label and tag for t-shirts to see if they were of high value or not, I do know that I can feel a high quality jacket, and a jacket alone can probably fetch me a better price. So that's kind of the theme I stuck with today. I did get some other stuff. Let me show you them all individually. First item is this vintage trench coat by Portrait. It was in excellent condition, and I am super pleased with that. I found a Carhartt overall and shirt combo, which I'll list together. I found an official Golden State Warriors Klay Thompson jersey. Managed to find a new with tags Chico's women's blazer. I'm very pleased about that one. These are Tito's vodka knit scarves, which I think even if they don't sell now, they'll sell coming up to winter. I found this men's Gap peacoat, which was pretty heavy, and so I think next time I'll just double check to make sure that it's worth the purchase, but I'm hoping to get a good little profit on that one. I found a men's FootJoy golf polo, and it has this insignia on the sleeve, so we'll see what that does. This vintage LL Bean extra large is tall, and so I think that the specialty sizing will do me well. I scored on this new with tags New York & Company shawl, and it was retailed at $60, so we'll see what I can get for that. I found this vintage dress that fits the new popular aesthetic of cottagecore, and so I'm hoping that that does me well. Even though this hunting Cabela's vintage hunting jacket is pretty heavy, so I paid more for it, I think it still should fetch me a pretty decent profit. So I'm happy with that one. I found this one-of-a-kind hockey jersey for the sports drink Prime. And even though I couldn't find a comp on it, I still think that it's a popular enough brand that someone will enjoy this authentic hockey jersey. Coming up on fall, I think anyone would be happy with this redhead jacket. Vintage Nike Golf sweater vest is a total score. I snagged this. It's actually a doggy sweater, but it is by a brand that is done by UGG. And so I felt like that was a no-brainer. I have not sold any Liz Claiborne yet, but it feels like when I look it up, it's a fairly popular brand on eBay, and so I'm hoping this does me well. This vintage blanket felt like a little bit of a risk, but it felt high quality, and so I'm excited to see what this one does online. I found a Carhartt sweater, but it does have some damage on it, but crazy enough, damaged Carhartt sweaters still sell. This Adidas BMW Championship shirt is very popular online, so it should do me well. Chubby's is a popular brand as well, and this jacket is fully reversible and has that neon print, which is popular. Then I found this Tyndale fire resistant jacket, and these retail usually for over $200. So even though it's branded with a name, I'm hoping that it'll still do well. Real quick, something I just didn't realize, and I was thinking to myself as I was like digging through all the clothes, I'm like, how am I finding some of these brands? And I didn't realize that most of the stuff, according to my online searches, most of the stuff that gets donated to Goodwill actually doesn't make it to the Goodwill shelves. And so that's how a lot of these like name brand items come to the bins. And that's how you can really score big on paying very little for something that's actually of really high quality, because they just don't have the bandwidth. There's just so much that's donated, and it just takes too much manpower to go through all of that, and it ends up at the bins. And now I am just so excited and energized about finding those deals at the bins. Let me keep showing you all the items that I got. There are still some good gems to come. I found this Buzz Aldrin NASA sweater that has these awesome emblems on the side, so hoping to turn that one pretty quick. Then I came across this amazing ski jacket by Mountain Force, which is a Swiss engineered jacket, and it is to the nines. Oh, I cannot wait to list this. I'm definitely going to try and get at least $100 out of this one. Really, really nice jacket. And the last jacket I found is, yep, a authentic Coach peacoat. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it. It does have a little bit of a stain on the arm, but either way, I still feel like this jacket alone in its popularity will pay for today's shopping trip just on its own. I'm so excited I found this. I cannot believe it. You just got to be at the Goodwill bins to dig, 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 and you'll find good stuff. Okay, so going forward, I think I'm gonna, I stuck in the jacket zone today because I feel like I was like, okay, jackets will fetch a good price and I can get them for a good deal. I will consider next time the weight of the jacket. So some of these jackets, even though they weigh a hefty amount and I paid a higher price for them because of that, they still will fetch me a pretty good profit, and some of them not so much. So I am going to be thinking about that in the future, just double checking those tags to feel the weight of it, and look up that brand and know that that's definitely something that I want to make that investment on. That way I am getting the best deal possible. And on to the smaller stuff. I did pick up these Carhartt socks and Bomba socks. After further investigation, it seems like people want socks brand new, so who knows what will happen with those. I did find these vintage Silkies pantyhose, which I am pleased to see that they sell really well online. I did find those random magnets. We'll see if those sell. They're brand new, so I don't know. These patches I found, they do have Velcro on the back, but maybe they'll be worth something. And that phone case, maybe. I did see these boots though. They are Nike and they're combat Nike boots. So if I clean them up, will they be worth much? I'm not sure. Hopefully they are. And then these Sperry topsider boots were in pretty good shape and needed very minimal work. So I'm pleased with those. Overall, I didn't spend too much time in the hard goods section, but for the time that I did spend, I did manage to find a couple of great items. And there you have it. I feel like I scored. I walked out of there with a giant cart full of stuff. And it was such a thrill. I had a blast. I just feel like this is where I'm going to be headed. It's a little bit more of a drive for me than the Goodwill, but I mean, they're both a little bit of a haul. So I definitely am going to be returning to the bins. I cannot wait to go back, and I hope that in the future I can find some amazing deals. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will continue to show my hauls and my adventures at Goodwill Bins, and I will be chatting with you soon.